Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship Review and Reaction Round 43, Part 2. It's a mid-week round. We had 5 games on Tuesday. We reviewed them yesterday. We had 7 games last night. We're reviewing them right now. I've got to start really hot because there's a super chat already. Anthony, thank you, sir. A Barnsley win bonus. I've done quite well out of Barnsley win bonuses from Anthony. So thank you very, very much to Anthony. We've given away, spoiler alert, one of the results from last night, but plenty of storylines coming up last night. You can see the results ticking along the bottom there. And we're going to get through each and every one of those games. Big stories in terms of the top 2 all happened on Tuesday night, really, but still in the relegation picture and the playoff picture. Big news, really big news last night. Right. We will get into this imminently. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. Do say hello in the chat. Let's say a quick thank you to Russ, who is our fan sponsor, fan and our friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Russ got involved on Patreon. You can do the same. Subscribe via Patreon. www.patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. We're working towards 3 exclusive Patreon shows next season for sure, and we're trying to grow that. It's been a brilliant first year on YouTube and Patreon, sort of full time, and we'll try and keep that building. We need your support, and we need to support people like Anthony, who's already bought the rights up to the fake news sin bin. You too can get involved via Super Chat. But for the princely sum of absolutely nothing, hit the thumbs up button. Get involved via the comments as well. Have you say, share your knowledge. And of course, subscribe. Ring the bell for notification. 15,270 something subscribers over on YouTube. Thank you to each and every one of you. If you have done so, plenty of stuff going on in the chat. We'll get involved in the games really because I don't want to get caught up too much too soon. So get your comments in first of all on another win for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are on fire. A 7th straight victory from the Cherries. They won 4-1 over at Millwall. All the informed players are scoring. They're winning every week. They're now the top scorers in the division as well. Looking very, very good are Bournemouth. And Parachute Cartel, anybody? Anyone want to look at the table? Those people who doubted that. We are back to the 3 relegated year 1 parachute teams as the top 3 with 3 games to go. Oof. Who would have thunk it? Hey? So 4-1 to Bournemouth last night. There's your Millwall team. Bialkowski, Evans, Pearce, Cooper, Malone, McNamara, Mitchell, Woods, Keefton Bell, Zahor, Wallace. For Bournemouth, Begovic, Stacey, Carter-Vickers, Cook, Kelly, Pearson, Lerma, Brooks, Billing, Danjuma, Solanke. Look, all 4 of them scored last night. Really excellent stuff from Bournemouth. Here are the goals. And a little bit of a mistake in the build-up to this one. But Billing gets through. He is in sublime form, isn't he? The attacking midfielder there for Bournemouth. Clips that one past Bialkowski with the left foot. 1-0. Here comes Arnott Danjuma from an Asmir Begovic assist. Danjuma was my player of the week in my tribal football column, and he does it again. Jed Wallace, not yet, Ben, not yet. David Brooks is going to score first. Comes across off the right-hand side. Good finish with that. Left foot, wrong footing. The flying defenders and Bialkowski in goal. Here is Jed Wallace, in fact. A mistake from Steve Cook. And Wallace spins and pops that in with the left foot on the volley. And go out of your way to see this one. Just a stupendous goal. Beautiful build-up. Absolutely ripped poor old Millwall a new one here. Particularly Solanke and Billing and Solanke sticks it in for 4-1. It's a great goal. It's a great performance. It's a great streak, a 7-win streak. I do have a theory about these, that you can get your winning streak too early before the playoffs. I wonder if the winning streak is going to continue right the way through, add another 3 games on for the rest of the league games, and another 3 games on for the playoffs. It's a long time to go without losing. It's almost worth, like Aston Villa did, just chuck in that 1 defeat in there and reset it so you're not defending this massive winning streak. But hey, if you're winning, who cares? And looking at the table, there they are. Bournemouth up into 3rd place, tip of the cap to Jonathan Woodgate. A lot of people questioned that appointment when it was made, but all looking very, very good now. 77 points for Bournemouth. After I've done all these games, I will give you the whys and wherefores for the weekend. Needless to say, 12:30 Saturday, Brentford versus Bournemouth. That'll be a little tester of the winning streak. Millwall, 59, 1 point in the last 3, and they are ceding ground to QPR in the 8th place trophy. James, Bournemouth had their shaky streak at the perfect time. Been able to come back towards the end of the season, take everyone by storm. Looks great. Growl, must give credit to Woodgate there. I was completely wrong about him. We now have 7 players out for the season. Not good. As a Barnsley fan, I want to avoid Bournemouth in the playoffs. They look menacing. Assuming we get there, we'll do all of that. I'm going to apologise to Jonathan Woodgate for saying he was not good enough Bournemouth to get Bournemouth playoffs. Well, looking good now. If Brooks scores, you should worry. No, he's not had the best season, but he's a quality player. Brooks still the most naturally talented. He's a great player, isn't he? Brooks. Bournemouth, the business on fire. Peak 2. That's the issue. Do you remember Brentford last season? 8 wins on the trot right up to the end of the season. I know they were going for automatic, but then just a little knock off there. Tom, we'll come on to Brentford in a minute. Hodgie the Hack, what a legend. Woodgate's change of system has really empowered them, and you are totally right. The front 4 all doing it. Kevin De Begovic, you love to see it. 7 of 8 Billings goal is the first goal of the game where Billings scores. Yeah. Is that the right channel? Yeah, Cherry's Red Army. I'm going to be doing that, an interview on there later in the week. Couple more here. Woodgate needs to blood some of the subs in the next few games. Rack, Billing and Dan Juma in bubble wrap. Yeah, they're looking very, very good. Some managers click at certain clubs. Woodgate, not a Borough. Yeah, remember Woodgate went into Borough at the worst time, didn't he? Parachute payments done and following Tony Pulis. Not good, not good. Let me just read this one from Sam. A more passive manager just focuses on putting players in positions which suit them, and they're like a machine. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right, let's move on. And it was Huddersfield 0, Barnsley 1, and it was a good day for Barnsley if we factor in the Reading result as well. They took 2 points out of Reading in that playoff chase. Another away win for Barnsley. Their sublime away form continues. And they beat Huddersfield, who are not out of the woods yet at the bottom. Again, we'll do all the permutations at the end of the review portion of this. So, nice, viable win for Barnsley. Barnsley fans very pleased about this performance as well, the ones who have spoken to me and appeared in my timeline over the last 12 hours or so. Schofield in goal for Huddersfield, Edmonds Green, Kiyosar, Hogg, Rowe, Holmes, O'Brien, Bakuna, Karoma, Sanogo. Solbau comes back in and plays very well, according to everybody. Collins, Solbau, Hellick, Anderson, Styles, Britton, Palmer, Moa, Morris, Freeser, Woodrow. And here is the goal. And I said yesterday, not normally when we talk about an overhead kick, we're thinking about the athleticism and the brilliance of it. This was just really clever from DK. It's the only way he can get that shot off with that bouncing ball. It's not spectacular, but it's brilliantly opportunistic by DK, who just sees it bounce and before anyone can react, quickly just leans back and hits the overhead kick into the goal. And what a brilliant signing, Daryl DK. has been for Barnsley. If you look at the numbers, you can see how viable it was. 1 shot on target. I know I'm choosing my stats here. 21 shots in for Huddersfield, 21 shots in total. 2 big chances to 0. Looks pretty good to me for the victory there. Again, we'll do all the permutations at the end of the show. Barnsley are 6 points clear of Reading with 3 games to go. The pressure heaped on Reading. We'll talk about their form in just a second. But Barnsley, a little slip against Coventry. Everyone's slipping against Coventry at the moment. They are back in business. 3 wins in 4. Well done, the Tykes. Really doing a great flag-bearing job. With Luton as well for those League One teams. Full on Keegan. I'd love it if Barnsley won the playoffs. We talk about the parachute cartel at the end of the season. End of the review, sorry. A well-deserved great goal. DK crucial signing. Great to see Barnsley doing well. Love a trip to Oakwell. Lack of chance conversion worried me, but great performance by the Reds. So I've heard, actually. Yeah, much better than the one at Cov. 1-0 probably flat as Huddersfield. Just got to better. Reading's result. Do all the permutations at the end. Fair play to Barnsley. They'll get over the line. Gavin, Luton fan. Team of the season for him. There, Barnsley in fantastic form. Seem to have a hoodoo over Brentford. So they may fancy the chances against them. Looking great, Barnsley. Really, and when we talk about Reading in a sec, they've done the complete opposite of Reading, haven't they? Where Reading got those 21 or 22 points in the first 8 games. Barnsley had barely any at that point, but they've then steadily just gone through the season in playoff or even better form for a lot of it, haven't they? Tremendous stuff by the Tykes. Let's move on and talk about Reading, who really needed a win at Luton last night and did not get it. 0-0. And that, of course, coupled with, there's 2 draws, then a defeat before that is 2 points in 3. At the same time, Barnsley have got 6. Brentford have got 5. Swansea only 4. Bournemouth have got 9. So you can see at this time of the season, one of our Benjamin Bloom bingo terms here, draws kill you in a run-in, don't they? You need those 3-pointers at this stage. Muscle memory, get the job done. 0-0 in this one. Sluger in goal for Luton. Bree, Pearson, Bradley, Naismith, Mpanzu, Tunnicliffe, Clark, Dewsbury Hall, Lualua and Adebayo. Can they get Dewsbury Hall back next season? For Reading, Raphael, Yidam, Holmes, Moore, Richards. Looks like Moore stepping out injured there towards the end of the game. Laurent Renamotor, Maite Elise Ijaria, Pushkas, no Lucas Zhao, shoulder problem for him. You can see on the numbers, tight, isn't it? 1 big chance apiece. 12 shots, 4 on target to Luton for 1 for Reading. Not much in it. 7 corners to 8. 54-46 on the possession. Tight game that no one could win, frankly. And, I mean, if we talk about Luton, again, we'll use the same praise that we use for Barnsley. Brilliant stuff from Luton, really, especially in a COVID season where you think that advantages and disadvantages are just amplified by lack of money and lack of crowds, etc. And for Luton to be there pushing 60 points is just really, really good considering where they were last season. And of course, I know what you football fans are like. Praising one team is not insulting another. Of course, we tip our hat to Barnsley, who were League One 2 seasons ago and down the bottom last season as well. Reading, looks like it's going to be 7th, doesn't it? We'll do the permutations at the end. But, it looks like a real mega Devon lock from Barnsley and a win streak for Reading is the only thing that really is going to get them back into the playoff positions. That ship may have sailed. You wouldn't see QPR making 6 points up on them. Big picture, 7th from 14th last season is an excellent climb, isn't it? But all of those points front-loaded and the form hasn't been, well, obviously the proof's in the pudding, but hasn't been playoff form for the remainder of the season, has it? Stating the bleeding obvious, but There we go. Hatters finish in the top 10, possibly. Yeah, others on the beach. Reading looked pretty abject last night. Mr. E, awful game, totally flat. More dislocated, another dislocated shoulder. What is going on? All over for us if it wasn't already. I don't see why playoff teams should be decided on merit, though. Excellent. Sarcasm is allowed here. 188 minutes played against 2 of the top 7. Only 1 shot on target against us. Nice. Great job. If the Royals didn't beat us or don't beat us on Sunday, that'll really be it for them. If this season was the 100-metre sprint, Reading would have aced it. Unfortunately, it's a marathon. Yeah. Run out of puff just gradually, haven't they? Luton have had a great season. Result wasn't a surprise, not at all. Season summary from a Reading fan. Heading to the casino with 10 quid, winning a grand, losing the majority of that, walking out with 100 quid. Ultimately, that's very good. Russ agrees as well. Excellent. Hello, Brian, another Luton fan. Go and see if Shaylee's leg is okay. Nasty cramp in that. Hey, Brian. We'll talk about Swans when we do the permutations. At the end, disappointing that Reading couldn't produce when it mattered. Players weary, just a natural regression to the mean after the most exaggerated outlier of a start that you'll ever see. Incredible start from Reading, wasn't it? John, Reading shots to goals was unusually high when they had their purple patch. Everything was on purple patch for then Reading. They just started sensationally, didn't they? Lack of big chances created in games has caught up. John, you're going to upset all the XG non-believers with that, but you're right. Let's move on. Rotherham 1, Middlesbrough 2. How many chances are Rotherham going to waste here? Oh, dear. A third straight defeat for the Millers in a third straight home game. Well, a fourth straight home game, in fact. And they go under 2-1. They had the lead. They had a man sent off. And then they go down 2-1. But amazingly, because of COVID and the Rotherham fixture list being what it is, there's still an anomaly. We still can't make many good predictions down the bottom of the table purely because of that Rotherham 5 games remaining still. The upside is massive, but the upside is irrelevant if you're going to lose 3 on the trot. So Rotherham still in the bottom 3, despite Derby, who are on an even worse losing streak than Rotherham, just above them. There are your teams: Johansson, Harding, Ihekwa, MacDonald, Mattock returns, Wiles, Crooks, Barlassa, Sadlier starts, Ladapo and Smith. For Warnock and Borough, Archer, McNair, Hall, Boller, Johnson, Cabano, Saville, Howson, Balassi, Akpom and Watmore. Here is the opening goal. Angus MacDonald heading in from the corner from Mattock on the back post. Here is a bit of a grisly freeze frame there. That is Matt Crooks going into Grant Hall there. What the still doesn't tell you is that Grant Hall performed a standing jump, and you can see Crooks has come in at pace. He has no idea where Hall is. He has no idea where the ball is, and just launched himself in there, and he was red carded. I hate to say it, I don't actually have a problem with this decision. You can see there, serious foul play, a tackle or challenge that endangers the safety of an opponent or uses excessive force or brutality must be sanctioned as serious foul play. Okay, no brutality, but for sure the force is excessive given it's a standing jump by the opponent, and he most definitely endangers the safety. So a frustrating one. I'm afraid I don't buy the clash of heads argument. To me, a clash of heads are where 2 players go up with equal, not excessive force and both challenge for the ball and bump heads. That, to me, I'm afraid, is not a clash of heads. And I am actually, as much as people love to hate referees, I'm actually behind the referee on that decision. Apologies if any Rotherham fans get wound up by that, but I've got to be honest on here. And then the 10 men can't cope with Borough. Saville smacks that one in. Short corner, Cabano lays it back to him. In it goes. I seem to have the same picture up twice. There we go. And there is the winning goal. You can see, probably spot the ball there. Akpom has just got ahead of, looks like McDonald there, a bit of a blurry picture. It's a mistake by Johansson, though. He'd been so good. Do you remember the watch-along against Coventry I thought he was terrific in that game, but just out of position, comes and doesn't grab it, and is punished by Chuba Akpom. There's the table, guys. So Borough on the beach, well and truly. They've hit 60 now. They're 14 off the playoffs, and quick maths, 21 off. Rotherham, in fact, off the relegation zone. So Rotherham, despite the terrible run, are still in this. And the upside, obviously the upside requires 5 straight wins, is actually 54 points, which is loads. However, they have away games coming up. They still have to play the 2 games in hand, Rotherham. They play midweek next week against Brentford. And when everybody else has got down to round 45 and played their game, well, everyone else other than Luton, who they're playing, Rotherham then playing midweek against Luton as well. So they could still be in it, really, up until after round 45, unless that gap goes to 7 points, which is plausible because that's only 1 win away for Derby. We will see. That's really the only way Rotherham are going to be done early, given the games in hand, is Derby getting to a 7-point gap, of course, by round 45. Let's have a look at your comments here. Let's have a look here. Sending off with suspect. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I disagree on that one. I was happy with that one. Anthony agrees. Think the ref got the sending off wrong. Again, feel free to give your feelings as it pertains to the laws, but I just don't think if Crooks is not looking at the ball and charging in and smashing Grant Hall's face in half, that he's careless, and I know careless isn't in the wording, but he's definitely endangering his opponent for sure. Gavin can't see where the Rotherham points are going to come from. Cat went into the pigeons, got scared, and no cat amongst any pigeons last night. Seemed to think Rotherham bottled it in the 6-pointers. Either that, that looks like 5 bellies. There you go. Either that, or they just ran out of steam. My feelings on the word bottled. I think it's a tough word, misused sometimes. What did Warnock say? I'm disappointed it's Rotherham. I want them to stay up. I've told the lads they have to try twice as hard on Saturday. There we go. Red decided this game, but I think it was correct decision. Rotherham running out of chances. Barnsley v Rotherham this Saturday. Oof indeed. What else are we saying here? You can't legislate for how another player jumps or doesn't. I don't get it, Simon. I don't know what you mean, buddy. The red card decision wouldn't legislate for the other player. It only legislates for the one player charging in and endangering the other. And if you've got your eyes on the ball and you know where it's going, then it's not a good challenge by Crooks at all, is it? Really want Rotherham to be a cat. They're just not doing it, though. Are they? I think Blades might get in the playoffs in a few years' time. Well, we can talk about that. Definitely endangered the opponent by running in at such pace. Can see why the ref sent him off. Seemed a harsh red. It's not going to get rescinded, is it? I mean, look at it. Come on, guys. I know we get a bit against referees sometimes, but on that wording, hey, look, I didn't think the Rico Henry one in the playoffs last year would get rescinded, and it did. So you never know. You never know. This could be a good time for Rotherham to play Brentford, given that Brentford are nailed on for the playoffs. We'll be protecting their best players. Big positive for Rotherham fans. Yeah, that could be it. If Watford are up from the weekend, then that's a fair point. John, agree with that. Fletcher and Assombalonga. Actually, Fletcher has left, has he? Wow. Someone tell me how much those two cost. I'm sure Assombalonga was 15 million and Fletcher was 7 or 8. Just bombed out. Fletcher, they'll both get another championship gig, those two, won't they? Unbelievable scenes. Don't know. How old is Assombalonga now? He'll still get goals in the championship, won't he, for goodness sake? Right, where are we going? Next is going to be Coventry and Stoke. Stoke 2, Coventry 3. Take a bow, Coventry. Anyone wants to, please, the same people who use the word bottling, give Coventry some credit now then. Because if you're going to criticise teams for losing big games, you've then got to balance that out with some praise for a run like Coventry have had. Middle of a relegation fight. They've won 4 games in 5. Outstanding from Coventry. They're on 51 points now and looking well safe. Only Rotherham can catch Coventry now. And of course, there is a scenario where by the weekend, Rotherham could not be able to catch Coventry and Coventry would be mathematically safe. But come on, they're safe, aren't they, Coventry? Let's be honest. Brilliant run. Excellent game as well. 3-2 in this one. Here are your teams. Gunn, Chester, Bart, Norrington, Davis, Timon, Smith, Thompson, Klukas, Powell, Brown and Norton gets another start, the youngster. For Cov, Wilson, Ostigard, McFadzean, Hyam, McCallum, DaCosta, Kelly, Harmer, O'Hare, Godden and Tyler Walker. Got 5 goals to do here. Let's get through them. Here is the opener. And Tyler Walker slides that in. Another assist for Callum O'Hare. They just rob it from a Stoke throw-in, actually. And Walker is able to slip home for 1-0. Great finish by Jacob Brown. But Gustavo Harmer summing himself up here. He's a great player. He was playing in the wrong part of the pitch here, trying to sort of dribble out of his own penalty box, overhits it, and Brown just comes in and slams it into the net. Terrific finish from Jacob Brown. Really bad goal for Stoke to concede that one, isn't it? Long throw, flick on, near post. No Stoke player touches the ball, and I think Stoke would know about long throws after all these years. Max Biamu sticks in for 2-1. Very quick equaliser here. They get down the right-hand side, all get sucked to the near post, and Klukas coming in at the back post. He's always got sound technique with the left foot, Sam Klukas, hasn't he? And he slams it in the top corner on the half volley. Are you keeping up? And here comes the winner. Weird one, this. Gyökeres kind of has it down the left-hand side. They close him down and think he's going to either play a pass or play into midfield. Give him a couple of yards, and then all of a sudden he thinks, oh, well, okay, I'll have a shot then. And he shoots it across the keeper and into the far corner. Sort of strange goal. You don't see too many scored in that manner. But another win for Coventry, and that is just brilliant, isn't it? Look at that. Coventry up there in 16th position on 51 points. You're looking really at only Bournemouth to be on comparable form over the past 5 games. Bournemouth, obviously, 5 wins out of that 5, but 12 points in 5 games from Coventry. I know I always say, look, teams at the bottom just don't do this. Well, when they do, they just zoom up miles out because, I mean, look at the pace of the rest of the teams down there. Sensational stuff from Coventry. 4 wins in 5 games for the Sky Blues, and they look well safe. Stoke on the beach. How are they divided now? 17 off the relegation zone and 18. Have I added that up right? Yeah, 18 off the playoffs. So are they going to finish on an even distance in between? We will see. What are you guys saying in the chat? Cov have earned 12 out of 15 in the last 5. A wise man would say absolutely tremendous. Yep, deservedly safe. Totally agree there. Nice one, Brian. Good luck. Credit to Cov, but Stoke lost this game because O'Neill played gunning goal and he had a mare. Should have known Davies is far better and that Bursick should be his backup next season. There we go. Fletcher, 25 and worth 2.7. Oh, dearie me. I'm sure they paid like 7 million quid for him as well. Maybe Ben will predict Stoke lower down and they will not let him. I always get Stoke wrong, Gavin, don't I, for goodness sake. One of the things that's certain in life is me getting Stoke miles out in the league table. Recorded the Stoke Cov game. What a game. Either team could have won it, but Cov were more clinical. Wilson made a worldie of a save for Cov. Yes, I saw that in the first half, actually. Yeah, tremendous stuff. Robin seems a good manager. Has he ever managed at a club with money to spend? I'll plead the fifth on that. Someone will let me know. Stoke 4 changes after the Preston game. Really pleased for Cov as a club. They deserve some success after what they've been through in recent years. If Coventry can win matches when the pressure is on them, why can't they win when there's no pressure? Maybe they're just peaking at the end of the season, Coventry. But we did posit this as a theory when they were plateauing. And I sort of suggested what would get Coventry out is the most solid pattern of play. They just haven't changed it, have they, since promotion from League One last season, where they were actually a footballing team in League One. Not any big sales, have they? And they've just kept it churning away, and they've done the business. Callum couldn't win 2 games in a row all season. Now we've won 3 in a row. Brilliant stuff. Robin's done a fantastic job. Hope we can hold on to him for next season. Bring on next season at the Rico with fans. Norrington Davis might be regretting his decision now. Well, sometimes it's never the player's decision, is it, Samuel? But we will find out. Right, finally. No, not finally. 2 to go. Wycombe 2, Bristol City 1. And you know me, I'm an organised chap. Guess what I was doing at about 4 o'clock yesterday? I was researching, getting a slideshow ready for a Wycombe relegated what went wrong video. It didn't happen. I didn't make the video, fortunately. But Wycombe lived to fight another day with a turnaround victory over Bristol City. Wycombe 2, Bristol City 1. And a late Akinfenwa penalty. What does that say? 90 plus 3. And they're still in it. Had Wycombe lost last night, all bar the shouting, it would have been over given the goal difference. And we would be talking about them essentially being as good as down, and sort of Derby having to score 1 point in 3 games, basically, or Wycombe not winning any of those single one of those last 3. But they did it, and they did it against Bristol City. Nigel Pearson, again, not a happy bunny. Thanks to Anir for sending me his interview last night. There's your team. Stockdale in goal for Wycombe. Grimmer, Stewart, Jacobson, Onyedinma, McCarthy, Thompson, Adinaran, McCleary, Musgrave and Ikpeazu. For Bristol City, Bentley, Sessegnon, Viner, Callis, Rowe, Backinson, another great goal from him, Lansbury, Naj, Masengo, Wells and Jeju on for Bristol City. Here are the goals. And, well, I know they lost, but what a goal by Backinson. And what you don't get to see from the still there is that ball is moving towards him. He's running onto the ball at an angle, and he side foots it deliberately to curl it away from the keeper and flies it into the top corner. Brilliant goal by Backinson. 2-2 for him. The last game against Sheffield Wednesday he scored. Brilliant stuff. Here's the equaliser. Ikpeazu, you can see punishing. Is it Sessegnon on the far post there? Just out muscling him, out powering him, heads in on the back post. Arm in an unnatural position, Mr. Palmer. Look who the shots come from. David Stockdale, the Wycombe keeper, up from a corner. Absolute chaos. I don't know why Jacobson doesn't take this penalty. He's on the pitch. Akinfenwa does. And he sticks it in the corner. Hilariously, Akinfenwa was brought up in the stream last night, about 90 seconds before that penalty got given, saying, will he actually score a goal in the Championship? And then immediately he did. So have a look. Have a look at Bristol City first. They're on 51, so they're pretty much a game away from safety if Rotherham do not win their next game. They'll be on 40. I'd still be able to get 52, wouldn't they? Okay, let's rephrase that. Bristol City about a win away from safety, but I suspect they could probably lose all 3 of their last games and they'd still be absolutely fine on 51 points. Wycombe, the form plays out longer than that. It's actually very, very good. In fact, why don't I just delve in on the form real quickly? Let's give Wycombe the credit that they do deserve. How far does this go back? It is just that page. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, 4 wins and 2 draws. So that is 14 points from 8 games. Have I added that up right? For Wycombe, which is just stunning form from Wycombe for a team that have been, marooned at the bottom. 1 win in 17 in the middle of the season, 7 straight defeats at the start. They've come good at the end. They're on 37 points. So we're still in a situation where, again, I'll do the permutations. they would basically need to win their last 3 games. They need to win 2 of them just to tie Derby. But if they do win their last 3 games, they would finish on 46 points and might have a chance. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. But they're still in it with 3 games to go. Wycombe, great stuff by them of late. Have to love the beast. The greatest championship story in history of Wycombe survived. Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a run, isn't it? So hang on. If they did, so they've got 14 points in 8. So if they would need another 9, 23. That'd be 23 points in the last 11 games if they did stay up. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Wycombe. What are you guys saying? Tyreek goal, yeah, tremendous, wasn't it? I cheered when Akinfenwa was scored. I think a few people did, didn't they? Got to love the club at the bottom, still fighting. They were awful, we were worse. Come on, Paul. Credit to Wycombe, but the dream ends this week, methinks. Well, it's been good while it lasted. Wycombe have the same number of points as Norwich over the last 8 games. Wycombe would have to win. Yeah, we've done that. You are, of course, right. Backinson thought he was Rob Dickey. Little bit more culture on this one. And Dickey's one was just an outright thunder, wasn't it? But this one, a little bit of a calmer finish there. Cardiff and Borough to come away. They're on the beach. Bournemouth at home and resting. There we go. Doable, but need Millers and Rams to be awful for the rest of the season. Well, they're being awful at the moment, so that could turn. Akinfenwa nearly doing a Lingard last year and scoring in the dying embers of the season. Beautiful stuff. Wycombe, credit, they've grown into the season. Bayo takes it, give it to his championship goal, no chance otherwise. Brilliant stuff. He waddled up the ball, creaking joints and without breaking. So he did a little dummy on the way through as well. It's a good penalty, wasn't it? Fair play to Wycombe. They keep hanging in there. Shows that the 3 promoted teams from League One have some fight. Yes, they do. Right, finally, is Birmingham 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Get your comments in on this one. Birmingham continue their excellent run. They don't get the win. It was a very, very late penalty that denied them, but the points per game under Lee Bowyer is just excellent for Birmingham. I think it must be 14-7, so it's still 2 points per game, even without the win, if I've got that. My memory serves me. God, look at the numbers as well. Although, how on earth did Forest manage to have 4 big chances in 4 shots? That's the most Chris Hughton stat I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, one of them was a penalty, I guess. Well, I don't guess, I know. So there are your teams there for Blues: Etheridge, Colin, Roberts, Dean, Pedersen, Gardner, Sunjic, Bella, Sanchez, Hogan, Jutkovic. For Forest: Samba, Blackett, McKenna, Worrell, Christie, Garner, Yates, Myton, Kravinovic, Freeman, and Lyle Taylor starts up top. Although Lewis Craven is going to finish up top and score that late penalty. Another set play goal for Birmingham. Mark Roberts there. Hey, look, if Roberts isn't going to put it in, Pedersen is. Big header at the back post. They are becoming an absolute nuisance from set plays. Interesting penalty call, this one. That is Scott McKenna going in. Lucas Jutkovic coming in from the side. Does he impede him? I don't know. I'll let you guys sort that out in the chat. What we do need to remember is that a late penalty doesn't make it a worse decision. If it's a bad decision, it's a bad decision in the 13th minute or the 97th minute. I'm going to plead the 5th on that one. All our teams have had dodgy pens given them against the season. Great pen, though, from Grab, and spot the ball there right in the right corner there as the goalkeeper looks. Etheridge doesn't look as the ball's flying past him there, and it is a 1-1 draw. Big picture, that late penalty shouldn't damage Birmingham too much. They're on 49. Forest are on 50. We'll do the permutations in a sec, but Wycombe can't catch Birmingham. Sheffield Wednesday can't catch Birmingham. Rotherham can catch everyone up to Stoke, for goodness sake. So we'll plead the 5th again on that, and we will read your comments. Bowyer bounce. Absolutely. I'll give him that one. Robbed in this, even Houghton said Forest deserved nothing. Undecided on the pen, saw a replay and can see why it was given, but should have been out of sight. Has Houghton sent Forest to the beach? Yeah, maybe. Will Birmingham use this form and be dark horses next season? We'll see. Got to keep it up, haven't they? Smash and grabbing. Absolutely. Blues, 11 points in the last 5 and stiffed this week. Should be 10 points clear. They're going to be fine. We was robbed, ref. Thankfully, got some points on the board earlier. We'll be in trouble. Yeah, you're totally right, Kai. Poor old Reading supporters in the season that promised so much to finish in the worst position as ever, of course, in 7th. There, Derby can't catch everyone up to Stoke, though. True. Yeah, true. But that doesn't matter, does it? Or does it? We're going to do the permutations in just a second. How high can Derby go then? Add 9, 52. Yeah, they can get Preston, can't they? So Stoke and above is what I was saying. I hope we're not going to open pedant corner. Are safe. Derby, obviously, 9 points off Preston. Can still catch them. Yeah, 14 and 7. I did get it right. Right. Let's do the permutations. And I'm just going to talk through all of these. Hopefully, I've got them all right. But this is how things stand. So this weekend in the Championship, at the top, if Norwich win and Watford lose, Norwich will be champions. Watford will be promoted if they win, period. They will also be promoted if they draw and Bournemouth and Brentford draw. Okay. The worst case scenario for Watford is a Brentford win and a Watford defeat. Then Brentford would play again before Watford play, the game in hand against Rotherham. And then the next game is Watford versus Brentford. So that is the doomsday scenario for Watford. They lose to Millwall. Brentford beat Bournemouth and Rotherham in the game in hand. Then it's a head-to-head. And if Brentford were to win that, and I know we're in the realms of the improbable here, it would go to 84 and 85 points. I have to read all these permutations out. If I hadn't last year, remember Forest and Swansea, where I'm writing them down thinking that's never going to happen. And it did. So I'm going to read them all out. Right. Bournemouth in 3rd with an inferior goal difference. Bournemouth can only really catch Watford by winning their last 3 and Watford losing their last 3. 1 more point for Bournemouth guarantees the playoffs. Swansea, automatic is almost impossible with the goal difference. They'd need 3 wins themselves, 3 defeats for Watford and a 14-goal swing in their favour. 2 more points for Swansea to shore up the playoffs. Brentford, to get automatic, we've just laid it out. They essentially need 4 wins out of 4 and for Watford to only score 1 point in any of the other 3 games, not the one against Brentford. Barnsley, well, they can't catch Watford, but they need 4 points as things stand to guarantee the playoffs. Reading can still make the playoffs. However, 2 points for Swansea, and Swansea are gone. 3 points for Brentford, Brentford are gone. 4 points for Barnsley, and it's all done. Reading cannot catch them. They just need to win and see what happens. Reading down at the bottom this weekend. Wycombe need to match Derby's result, or they are down. Ideally, though, looking at the goal difference, they need to better Derby's result this weekend. Sheffield Wednesday. If Derby win, then Wednesday need at least a point or they are down. So both Wycombe and Wednesday could go at the weekend with a Derby win and undesirable results in their games. Rotherham, complete wild card still, huge upside with 5 to play. And they will still have a game in hand on everybody other than Luton, who are irrelevant because they're halfway up the table, after round 45. So unless the gap is 7 points at the end of round 45, Rotherham are still in it mathematically. Are you keeping up? Derby could finish off Wednesday and Wycombe in the next game. Preferable results will do that. They cannot shake off Rotherham for another game or probably 2, at least if results go their way. Huddersfield can still be caught by Wednesday and Rotherham, but not by Wycombe. Birmingham and upwards are only concerned with Rotherham, Stoke and upwards are already mathematically safe. Does that all make sense? That is the state of play going into round 44 this weekend. Let's have a look at some comments. Could be a heap of dead rubbers. You're telling me, Sophie, we could have the playoffs pretty much shorn up, automatic pretty much shorn up with 2 games to go. I remember going to Leeds and Villa thinking it was going to be like a champion automatic decider, and everything was done. In short, big weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Luton still have that game in hand. Ape still not out of the question. Absolutely not. If Watford lose to Millwall, you're in the realms of fantasy. There we go. Permutations include sides playing each other. So anyone Birmingham. Paul, you're in very pedantic mood today, aren't you? I think Paul's still cross after Bristol City, isn't he? Thank you, Paul. I hope that makes you feel better, correcting me on that. My Brentford have bottled it earlier this season. Brumm, cruelly denied by a contentious late pen. Some Birmingham fans have strung up the ref from the stand roof later. Should be cut down, only for Bowie to put him back up in his post-match. Yeah, he did bury him as well. 3 points for Barnsley. Where are we going? 3 points for Barnsley, and Reading can't catch us. That is not correct, is it? 77. Reading could still get 77 if they win their game. You've got to listen to my maths. Yeah, mathematics, darling. Indeed. I can't put Paul in pedant corner. We like him too much. But yes, Barnsley are pretty much... Last night was not good for Reading, wasn't it? Going for 7th, you ask. Good little battle for that going on. Anyway, Derby v Birmingham, big game. Big game there at the weekend. A Brumm win helps a lot of teams. It helps the end of season become interesting as well, doesn't it? If we can't stay up, be nice not to finish bottom. How close were Rams to a points deduction at the start of the season? They didn't even get found guilty, John. So not close at all, I'm afraid. Charged and let off without punishment, I'm afraid. Who do I back to finish 8th? Do you know, I haven't even looked. Deary me. We'll go with QPR. Although QPR play Norwich at the weekend, don't they? A Barnsley win and a Reading draw or loss will secure the playoffs. Sorry, Barnsley fans, please, please, please do the maths really, really quickly. A Barnsley win and they'll put them to 77. So yes, James is right, but Reading have to slip up as well. Barnsley will only finish Reading off if they better sort of a win against the draw. So yes, you are right, James. Madness, you got to love it. Simon, if Norwich lose this weekend and Watford win, who would you put your money on to be champions? I'd still stick with Norwich because you can just imagine Watford will just drop off a little bit, having been promoted. I don't know. They look very, very focused, don't they? Easy win for the R's with us on the promotion beats, having a lovely old time, aren't they? Blues win versus Derby and we're safe because then Derby can't catch us. Rotherham can, but that's irrelevant, surely. I know final ray of hope, but I'd love to make decisive statements. But, well, Rotherham have got 500 games in hand. We can't mathematically say that for certain with this ridiculous notion that they could still get 55 points. Right. I think we've got it. What I'll do, I'll clip the permutations and we'll put that up as a separate YouTube video on current form. Anthony, now I know you're a Barnsley fan. It's hard to take your question at face value. You've got to look at Bournemouth, haven't you? 7 wins on the trot. Dan Juma playing brilliantly. Brooks back into the team. Billing playing brilliantly. Solanke scoring. Pearson integrated. You've got to look at Bournemouth, haven't you, at the moment? Yes, I know a couple of months ago, Barnsley beat all of these teams, didn't they? So there we go. Rotherham could catch Derby, but could be the final side relegated anyway. We'll find out. We will find out. And with the fixtures being what they are, remember that game in between round 45 and 46 between Rotherham and Luton means it has to be over 6 points for us to be definitive about Rotherham. At least there'll be interesting teams, exact position 3rd to 6th. Yeah, and Chris, we got Bournemouth and Brentford this week, this round 44. Then we've got Brentford and Watford round 45, and Swansea and Watford round 46. So Reading and Norwich as well, although we thought that was going to be a big all top 6 game. It may not be. Right, let's do this. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was our Championship review and reaction, round 43, part 2. Nearly there. Thank you, everybody. I'll stick the permutations stuff up, and I will say a big, lovely over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.